Let's go. It is Monday. It's October 26th. Welcome everyone to Living Room Sports Talk. Kieran McCauley, Zach Rothenberg. You know, in a weird way, Zach, I came in hot on this one. Probably one of the hotter ones I've been on, which was like I said, a little bizarre because the Packers, were winning. So yesterday. So I'm a little off right now, trying to delete these videos too. I said I wasn't going to do it until now. I'm like trying to do it now, just in case we get any new watchers. All right, here we go. Ready? So we're good. We're ready to rock and roll. We got a great show. Look at this. Everyone's rocking and rolling. All right, here we go. Perfect. So we're back in the studio on a Monday. I'm collected now. I feel better. Here we go. And then everyone's coming back. I mean, we had a nice pop there to get started. And then, of course, the audio was like, nah, why would that work? Yeah. But nevertheless, here we go. So we got a great show, a lot of football recaps. So we'll kind of jump into it. And it's funny. I feel like really all the people were missing on the first round was just me bitching about like just work and stuff. So like I don't know really if they missed anything, but nevertheless, let's jump into it. So yeah, do a little clickbait. We'll do a little clickbait, and I'll even just do mine again because I'm sure everyone saw the graphic earlier. But here we go again. We're going to be talking a little bit about Penn State today. And like I said to you before, it's a little curveball here, Zach, with it being Penn State basketball. That's on the topic of conversation. But yeah, so I was saying earlier, I hate this thumbnail. Just because first of all, Brett Brown's never the coach there. No. Are you kidding me? No. And if he does, God, that would really speak volumes about the Sixers to me. But if that was the best job he could get afterwards. But nevertheless, all right, there's my little basketball. It's just, and that's the picture they selected too to get everyone to click is like, oh, Brett Brown, who ordered her house?
Oh, this is classic clickbait right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They throw a fake picture of someone who, hypothetically is a coach looking for a job and gets people thinking one thing and it's not it. Love it.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Love it. I'll drink some water to that. Look at that. I even got I don't even know why I have the Broncos.
They got destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good for them.
I thought they were in it for a while in the beginning and then just turned south real quick.
Let's at that point. Let's have it. Well, you got your football clickbait, right? Put on for you. It's the Broncos per se, but a little football nonetheless.
Yeah, we're fans of the show, Good Morning Football and all that, and we think Kyle Brandt, he's great, funny and everything, but
he's not really nice guy. I met him.
Yeah, great guy. Yeah, you met him. That's right. Yeah, we love him. But he's
poking the tweet.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's poking the bear this whole Tom Brady and not shaking hands with Nick Foles because they say there's no beef, but that he doesn't shake his hand, but he shakes Derek Carr's hand after the game of this weekend. And it's like, I think you're trying to make something that's really not there. We all know Tom Brady can be a sore loser sometimes. He's competitive. Obviously, the right thing to do is to shake hands after a game and take a good luck this season or, good health, whatever. I just think that everyone's still trying to hold on to this thing of, Nick Foles beat him in the Super Bowl, so he's holding a grudge against him, things like that. I mean, him and Eli Manning joke with each other all the time, and he did it twice. So I don't think that this is sorry, I had to throw that in there.
No, I'm with you too. I don't care. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's funny you said that because I cared so little about this that last week when everyone was kind of making, it was 2 weeks ago when he lost to the Bears.
Yeah.
And everyone was making a big thing of it. I actually was thinking, like, as I was putting the notes together, like, I care so little about it that I didn't want to put in the show that I wanted to talk about how much I don't care about it. That's how much it was irrelevant to me. So, like,
yeah,
I get it. Yeah, like, it's good sportsmanship to shake hands. Like,
but at the same point in time, it's also COVID.
It's also polite to say please and thank you, but I might not say it to a few like people like at work too, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know. Like, it's I'm not. There's in a world where there's just too many things to worry about in general. This does not have to be on my radar. Like, everyone always talks about letting things go. I feel like this is something that's pretty good to let go.
Yeah, I agree. Just let it fly.
Speaking of let go, it's tough to let go, but I know we're not. Here's my thought. I didn't want to. Everyone knows it's Thursday, right? That was not good for you guys.
No.
I figured we could just save that and we can roll it in to the Cowboys Redskins chatter because, like I was saying before, if anyone's joined us now, we'll still be doing our football recaps and then looking forward to a little Monday Night Football action tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean. Well, we'll save it. We'll save the NFC East chatter. But let's jump into the Sunday night game because I feel like that's actually what we were talking about before we even got on the air, right? And
That was a great game. That's probably the game of the year. I'll say it already.
Dude, stop.
Was that clickbait?
No, yeah. Like you literally took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, I hate this take because you know what? I'll actually give you like the other side of it, and I know you're immediately going to think like my opinion might not matter on this. And I went to bed before the game ended. I did. Now, to be fair, I watched like about halfway through the third quarter. I fell asleep. It's not the game of the year when like two teams were just kind of like, you take it, no, you take it, right? The Seahawks defense sucks, right? Yeah. So make it that what you will. But anyway, let me actually scale back.
Yeah.
I wake up and everyone's like, game of the year, and I throw the highlights on. It's good. It was a good game. I'm not saying it was a bad game. It was a good game. It wasn't like the best game I've ever seen in my life. It was just like everyone was like, stop the world. These are the games like we watch. I'm like, it was a good game. Like, I don't know. It almost ended up in a tie.
Yeah.
There's a missed field goal at the end to win. Like, why was this so good? Like, it was like it was close. It's almost like that's what I think bothers me when people try to mistake close games for good games. It doesn't necessarily mean it was like a great game, right? It's funny. When I think of great games, everyone's going to be like, great, I can't relate to this. You at all, Kieran. When my dad and I went to Wrigley Field, it was like the Braves and Cubs played each other. And I swear it was like the greatest fielding, pitching. Like it was like only strike. It was like game. It felt like went by like in an hour. And I remember we were just laughing, saying it was like the best baseball game we'd ever saw. It was just like perfect. Like everyone played really well. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I'm just drawing back on this game. And I'll double up on that because you know what? It's funny. I know I came in jaded, although they didn't hear that because I was muted the entire time apparently. Dude, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like at all. Really, I'm not. And I actually think I'm going to start keeping this stat because it's actually ruining things for me. You've heard me say this before, how if you, especially in the offseason, right, how if you rewatch like old Sunday Night Football replays on YouTube or whatever have you, right, that Collinsworth will always predict things. I'll joke around and say, like, they're always wrong. Like, looking back on it, whatever he was saying, like, oh, man, that receiver is going to be a heck of a player. And it's like he was out of the league like 2 years later. Like that type of thing. But he does this thing that drives me so up a wall. And I wish people would talk about it more. It's fine. I'm going to be ripping on some other broadcasters today, too. I got a great one for you later. Oh, but no, here's what drives me nuts about Collinsworth. Every time he calls a game, you could literally bet a paycheck on this, that at some point in the game, he's going to mention that some encounter during that game was the greatest moment he's ever seen in that like realm. Like that might be the greatest toe drag swag I've ever seen. That might be the greatest one-handed left-hand block I've ever seen. Yep. He's always seen the greatest thing. And it actually bothers me because I'm like, if you actually pay attention a little bit, dude, you're not seeing the greatest. Like I laugh. I'm like, you've seen the greatest catch ever. Like he said it about the OBJ catch, which actually might be the greatest catch ever. But he said it since then.
Yeah.
Like he's and like it's just it drives me nuts because like it's like someone that just goes around saying they love everybody, but they like it's like that's not true.
Not
like
genuine, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not genuine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to go on that soapbox because literally I was sitting there cutting the highlights of the afternoon games, getting ready for the show for today. Yesterday, with my hands in my face because I couldn't take listening to him anymore.
Yeah. I think, and that's what you brought up is a valid point. I won't disagree with you. I think the reason why people are saying the game of the year, including myself, was because of the swing of who was going to win. Oh no, now they're going to win. Like the swing of emotions and how exciting it was to watch because you have Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and
it was an electrifying affair.
It was a great game, and I think because of the swing of emotions and of who's going to win this, oh no, wow, this just happened, blah blah blah. Like a lot of back and forth made it very exciting to watch, and I think that's why people, including myself, are saying that. But
yeah, I won't lie, it was a good game.
Yeah.
It was. Now here, I'm almost going to triple down on this because it's so funny how I started with this in my notes in one direction. Now I'm like almost on the other side of it. That's how like sour I've gotten today. But okay. Do you see the DK Metcalf running down Budda Baker, the interception, right? I'll play it for everybody. Yep. This is a really good hustle play. This is a great hustle play, right? Like, it's funny because I was so excited to talk about this in the moment And furthermore, I was excited because what the coolest part about that was, right, you're possibly thinking, what difference does it make the Cardinals were going to score? They got stuffed on fourth down. They couldn't get it on fourth down. Mm-hmm. It really proved to be valuable, albeit I think you see some of those hustle plays where either the guy doesn't get them or like whatever. My point, it kind of got annoying, though, with the media today all day. Take a page out of this book. This is literally one of the best hustle plays ever. Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, hold on. Time out. First of all, it's your job. It is. I mean, that's not me. That's not. You did a great job. And my point is, I sometimes we get lost in this, especially in pro sports, where it's like, oh, it's okay to like run it out to first base 70% of it, like with effort. Yeah. It's okay to jog after the guy running down the sideline who's probably going to make it because you're thinking about not pulling a hamstring or something. But like, and I'm not trying to be that guy. But at the same point, I also just sit there and be like, it's almost like ESPN and the NFL Network want to build him a statue now after that play, and I'm like, it's a really great hustle play. And sure, it absolutely should be the one that coaches pull up and say, this is exactly what you do because this is exactly what can happen. And I'm really happy they got the stop to kind of make that ring true. Yeah, sorry about that, Trust. Yeah, we're finally getting the crew back on the chat. I'm just an idiot, and I had one of the audio settings messed up. So we little test, little troubleshoot. We're good to go. Yeah, but no, so to that point, I don't know. And then it is. I mean, look, it's a great hustle play, right? I mean, looking at chasing him down like this. I mean, but I don't know. Like, am I just being that like cynical today?
No, you're right. Because unfortunately, in today's world, we don't see hustle on plays like this. The non-sexy plays like this, like running down a guy from 100 yards, or like you said, running out first on the ball. Unfortunately, in today's society and sporting world, this gets blown up, even though, like you just said, that's your job. That should be second nature to you to hustle like that every game.
Right. It's like the guys when you say, oh, good for them, they run it out. It's like, you're all supposed to run it out kind of a thing.
You're supposed to. Yeah. It's a shame that gets, blown up. Like, I know for me, like I've liked baseball players in the past because they always ran it out 110%, which
exactly
what you're supposed to do. But yeah.
Oh, and Trust, I'm loving this. He had Lockett and Adams. Oh my God. In fantasy.
Yeah, that's
Lordy.
That's a recipe for a blowout.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, you don't even need anyone else. You're set.
Did you have Kyler as your quarterback too? I mean, because he had 40 or Russ. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but let me ask you this. So, looking at this game, can I throw something out there just to keep being negative for a second?
Yeah.
Great. I can't tell if I froze or not because my stream froze on my screen, but it's probably just me.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, you're good? All right, cool. I'm like, now at this point, I'm like traumatized. I'm just like, the Wi-Fi stuttered, Zach. Is it going to crash? Like, yeah, right. But, he did have Kyler.
Wow.
Woo! Like, that would be me alone.
Give me your week.
Yeah, well, Charlie Hustle for Pete Rose. I like that. So let me ask you this. So let's look at this game at a deeper dive for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves Seattle. And I know they always do this, so I'm not like trying to, start stuff.
Mm.
They're 5-1. The 5 wins they have. Care to hear? Do you care to take a guess who they beat?
No, this is a really good point. I'm curious to know. Yeah.
So okay, you don't know? No idea. Okay, great. Ready? They beat the Vikings, the Falcons, the Patriots, the Cowboys, and the Dolphins.
And what all do they have in common? Without
they all suck.
The exception of the Dolphins right now because they're 3-3.
They all have a losing record except the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They have a combined record of 8-23.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, you can only beat the teams you can beat. Now, I will say though, I was like kind of just intrigued by their box scores, and like all the games were somewhat close, except maybe the Falcons a little bit wasn't really close. Obviously, New England was close. And albeit, right, we're not having this I'm not even looking into such a stat if they win, right? Like, I mean, if they win that game and they don't turn the ball over there, or that DK Metcalf touchdown isn't rolled back on a hold, which was a hold, but still, right? Like, there's definitely something to look at, though, here, right?
Yeah, no, it's an extremely valid point. And like you said, you can only beat who you're given to play against, but yes, the fact that they were given a team that is probably equally matched or maybe like slightly below their level and they lose, that says something to me.
Well, that's the thing.
They had the game won.
I know I'm wrong for that article I wrote about how the Cardinals are going to suck this year. I'm wrong about that. At this point, I can safely say that. I think I even said Hammers under 6.5 team total wins for him. So I was wrong. I was dead wrong about that. But are you at a point where you're like, this team's really good?
Personally, yeah. I think the team's great. I love watching them, to be honest. I think
they're entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray is a great player to watch. And seeing Larry Fitzgerald, do the little things that, again, it's fundamentals, like pick up the ball and run it back so they can get the clock stopped quick. That's fun to watch to me. DeAndre Hopkins is electric. He's fun to watch. Their
These
defense.
NFC West on NFC West games are going to be really exciting to watch.
Oh, yeah. And that game last night is going to prove to be pivotal, I think, in the division for sure. Like, it's a gauntlet. And that's easy for anyone to say. It's a soft take, but yeah, it's an insane division right now. But no, I am. I think Kingsbury made some horrible coaching decisions last night. I don't know if you saw.
I saw he got ripped a good bit.
It takes a lot for me to tweet as watching a game, but I was like actually firing.
I saw that. I wasn't sure if you were drunk or if like you were just that emotionally invested in it.
No, I was financially and emotionally invested in the game. So
the Twitter diaries.
The fact that it was 2nd and 15 in the overtime with like 2.5 minutes left, 2nd and 15 at the Seattle 24-yard line, and he just decides he's like, because Kyler did he lost a couple yards on a run. And Collinsworth says, "Oh, I guess Cliff didn't want to lose any more yards, so he sent in the kicking team to hopefully get it done to end the game early." And first off, they're about to have a delay of game. They would have had a delay of game, but he runs down, calls a timeout. He wasn't even paying attention. The offensive coordinator or one of his assistant coaches had to tell him to call a timeout. So
that's why I don't think I don't think he's a good coach. So that's my thing. Like, how long is that going to go?
I know. I'm hoping. I'm talking like I'm a Cardinals fan. I just think they're a really good team. I like the way they're built.
To be that guy, you got to pick someone vicariously now. I mean, right after Thursday.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm invested in Kyler because of fantasy and being a keeper and all that. So of course I have a little connection there, a little bit, I guess. But let me ask, like that are just sloppy. And if they are going to make a playoff run, like I think they are, that needs to end yesterday.
And that's the thing, right? Everyone forgets. They win the game, right? They kick the field goal. It's funny. What happens if he misses that field goal and they tie? Well, what the hell is the conversation today?
Oh, I know. Yeah. Then the conversation to me would be, well, it's a combination of Russell Wilson throwing 3 interceptions and Kingsbury making that dumb call to try to kick it on 2nd and 15 with plenty of time left. But
well, so we'll pick it up the pace here because I was just thinking about we got Monday Night Football on the docket. So we got a couple minutes, but let me, before we go in the recaps, I want to get Coach K-Mac's clipboard out for you here.
Ooh,
hey, you like that?
Don't break it. It.
One day we'll have graphics for that, but dude, I got some feelings.
Yeah.
I thought this weekend really was a great coaching stick for people. At any level, especially the young kids, about being selfless, right? Being a selfless player. And I think DK Metcalf, for example, that's the good. It's funny because I have 3 examples of where selflessness could have been demonstrated. One time it was, 2 times it was not. And honest to God, as a football fan, it's just someone who loves the purity of the game. These types of things made me bite my hand and just right? Okay, so Metcalf was the good one. Now the 2 bad ones. Dude, I'm first going to actually go back to Saturday first. Dude, your team, Penn State, man. I mean, the game's over. It's 21-20. This is what drives me nuts. Just see him cross the end zone, and then he kind of does whoops, going over it. I'll play it again. Look, that drove me so just up the wall because he knew what the right thing to do was. That's what drives me nuts about all these instances. It's when it's like, oh my God, I scored. Whoops. Oh no, I scored. Yeah. Is this bad? It's the big red end zone you're running towards for this example. Yep. And the next example I have, because you know what happened, Zach? It happened again on Sunday. It happens in college. It happens in the pros. Todd Gurley did this. And to be fair, his was a little bit he tried. It's just how do you not, dude, you can't break the plane there.
That comes down to coaching though, because you got to reiterate that and you got to drill the point home that says do not score a bunch of times. And Ahmad Bradshaw did it in the Super Bowl, so it happens. And but
Brian Westbrook won the game.
What's that?
Brian Westbrook, remember he got down in the 1 yard line against Dallas?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. Yeah.
So here's what drives me nuts. And I was saying out loud, and when I say this is not me saying I was rooting for Indiana, and if you need further proof, I sure as hell wasn't rooting for the Lions yesterday. But let's just say, like, I'm just a third-party football, like, just like the third-party person stepping in, like, thinking and watching this through. Mm-hmm. I'm glad Indiana went down. And we'll talk about that actually later in the show real quick. And I'm glad the Lions, well, not really, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad they went down because it brings light to it, right? If neither of those teams win, then no one's talking about it, right? I'm probably not even talking about it. All you're doing is kind of saying, like, you probably should have just got down there and ended the game, but, like, you know, whatever.
But it's okay. Yeah.
Exactly. And every single time those things happen, even, like, right, obviously now, but, like, anytime that happens, that's your team, and they do score, and it leaves it open, you're kind of like, all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, Bradshaw did that in the Super Bowl, and we were lucky enough that it didn't come back to bite us. But I know the feeling for sure. It's an uneasy feeling because you're like, oh, we scored, but I mean,
and you know, so yeah, I mean, to that point, and then you look at the Falcons game. Like I said, look no further. Right, 2 seconds left. Bam, Detroit wins the game. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, it adds up.
Yeah,
it adds up.
Yeah, those little, like you just said, from a purity perspective and the fundamentals and understanding situational gameplay, we'll call it. Understanding situational gameplay, the basics of the game comes down at the end of the day. It's like being a shortstop and knowing what you need to do if you get the ball, before you get the ball.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as just being prepared.
It's the fundamentals.
Yeah, fundamentals.
So, exactly. That's what old Coach K-Mac's clipboard is. Get down. If you can end the game, get down. If you can end the game, end the game. Like, it's like Mike Myers or any of this Halloween. Anyone watch these horrible, horrifying Halloween movies, right, about these kind of killers, you got to end them.
Yep.
If you're exactly 3/4 of the way through the movie and you have a shot to take out Mike Myers or whoever it is in the movie, take him out.
Yep. Hey,
I pull it Todd Gurley.
Coach K-Mac's clipboard.
You like that?
I love it. Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll take a little circle out.
A little segment on
that. Come back to that on Saturday. Oh, don't worry. I got plenty to talk about the Packers usually. Now, this was good, but you know. All right. Let's stick in the NFC though. So, all right. So Lions, big win. But real quick, let's not just run over that game real quick and just make it all about that girl play. They're 3-3, and I'll add this in here, dude. I gotta find this. Where's the stat? Where did I put this? You know what I'm talking about? This Falcons thing? Oh, here it is. This is so bad. So in the 3 games this year, against against the Bears, against Dallas, and against the Lions, which 2 of those 3, you know, thanks guys. Look at that. 99.9%. They had a 99.9% chance. That means that like 0.1% chance you would ever win that game. Think about that. And then I forget. I saw a stat like what the odds were. It was like 0.0000000, like 24% or something like that. That like all 3 of those would happen in the same year. Dude, they are truly the kings. I feel bad for Falcons fans. They truly are the kings of losing. Like they find such unique ways to lose, and it's like it gets every football fan's attention.
Yeah, no, it does, and it also. I mean, I would love to know what the live money line is on those games for the teams they let back to win.
Yeah, you probably made out well. Could you imagine if like the first time you saw, you're like, like I'll start betting. I mean, I didn't do it, but
probably throw $5 to win like 100 on those games. I bet, you know.
I think they're going to blow up that whole thing. You kind of have to.
They have to because they have so much talent on the offensive side of the ball, and it's not panning out.
And there's just too many like shadows of ghost paths. Like, you know what I mean?
Think about it, Kieran. If it's your fantasy team and you're 1-6 after that week, right, or whatever their record is.
I can empathize because that's going to be my record. Yeah, sure.
You have all these assets, which they already stated they're not going to trade Matt Ryan or Julio, but you have all these assets. Wouldn't you be willing to trade for some draft picks? Or some, stars you think you can groom? So yeah, it's a shame. It's really a shame because it's just a shame because you got Matt Ryan who's I think he's a little bit of an underrated quarterback, at times, most of the time, and Julio Jones, who could be the best wide receiver in the game. It's just a waste of time.
I feel for Matt Ryan because I feel like just about when everyone wants to like put him in that great category, then he just falls off and fades. But Speaking of fading, the Panthers didn't really fade, right? They lost yesterday. What was it, 27-24, I think was the final. Looking at the South here for a second. Saints, just kind of hang on, do like kind of grinding it out, 1 o'clock at home in the Superdome type thing. They always, I feel like, win these types of games.
Yeah, no, I was surprised the Panthers were in this game, to be honest. I know the spread opened up. It was Saints, I think, -7.5. And I personally thought the Saints coming off of a bye week were going to come in and win by double digits for sure. But, the Panthers are turning out to be a strong young team, like kind of, a little better than what I think we thought they would be.
Gritty, yeah, definitely.
Gritty. Yeah, gritty's the way to put it. And I think a lot of that is Matt Rule. And I think the culture that it's brewing up down there.
Definitely. I mean, and you're right. They're grounded pound. They have that identity to them, which they're kind of fun to watch.
Yeah,
great. That game wasn't really fun to watch, Sly only missed that field goal by like an inch. That was a 65-yard field goal.
Yeah, 65. Hey, you got to try it, right? I mean,
you got to try it. Yeah,
you got to give it a shot, and he was close, like you said. Hit the accuracy was there, just the distance was slightly off.
Well, so let's stick in the NFC South here for a sec. So, are you walking back?
I know what you're going to say.
The Bucks comments at all?
I think
I'm not like that wasn't me trying to say yes, but no, seriously, what are you thinking?
No, honestly, I at this point in time, I think I might need to, because it's pretty clear that their defense has stepped it up, and they're one of the. I think they're probably I think they're a top 5 statistically. I think they're a top 5 defense right now, if they're not the best. I think
smacked us around, yeah.
Yeah, and you look at guys like Scotty Miller stepping up, 6 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, before I was saying they had no depth, and guess what? They're bringing in Antonio Brown. So,
I know. I was gonna say, is that a thing? It's like let's not be ESPN for a second. Be like, oh my god, what do we make of this? But I don't know, kind of what do you make of it? I don't know, you know what I mean? Just don't give me what the first take's gonna say and be like, well, he's either gonna be really, really good or not. Yeah. It's oh, great, thanks, guys.
I personally hate it. I really hate it because
who? For yourself, or
I hate it for the sport of football, because this is my LeBron take all over again. It's the same thing. Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay, and Gronkowski's out of retirement. Antonio Brown's going there. Leonard Fournette's coming here, it's just
even Le'Veon Bell a little bit acting up and then just getting cut from the Jets, and then the Chiefs pick him up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's horrible for the game of football.
They're bad. They're not good enough to keep them if they're acting up, but they're great enough if they're giving you their best effort and stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. But I do think that he's going to be on a short leash. I think Bruce Arians has already come out and said that basically if you.
But he hasn't made a headline in months. I knew that that's why I picked him up in fantasy, because I was
that was smart. That was a great sixth sense move there, because that's great trade bait or keeper rights next year.
I'll call it. Yeah, you want them? I'm selling them because I'm 1-6. So having another yard sale this week. If you're interested in coming by, for you can put your Darren Waller coupon. I don't know, honor it, but but hey, you bought a Darren Waller from Kieran's team here. Come back for more. That
was nice. He got a touchdown for me this week, so I appreciate it. It was a good deal.
There you go. You're welcome. I'm happy to help out, because Robert Tiny didn't do anything, and that's going to cost my season. But all right. But anyway, back to real football. So you think the Bucs are legit? I mean, their offense, they went 45-20? I mean, they were clicking yesterday.
Yeah, and it's pretty clear that the Saints, with the issues and the health concerns of Michael Thomas, the Saints are not what they should be with him out, obviously.
That's kind of where I'm at, too, with them.
So I think that the Bucs are the clear front runner at this point in time, because the Falcons are the Falcons, and the Panthers, they're a tough team, but they're not there yet. So.
And what the hell is up with the Raiders? It's the team. If you said, do you want to play the Raiders this week? It's not really.
Yeah.
But if you're the team you need to lose, it's they're playing the Raiders this week. You're like, oh god, I don't know how that's gonna go. You know what I mean? There's more in the middle at that.
Yeah, they are. I don't know what it is either. I really don't, because they were in this game for a while, and then all of a sudden the Bucs just exploded and ran away with it.
Yeah.
Second half, a good way to put it. They're one of those teams.
It's not their division to grab. I mean, I think it's pretty set in stone. That's Kansas City. I mean, dude, their defense smacked around Denver in the snow game.
Yeah, snow game. Yeah, I didn't realize it was supposed to snow until I turned the red zone on, and I was like, oh,
it was cool to see. That's a really cool stadium, and we actually saw me and G saw Chiefs Broncos out there. So
nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Very cool.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of replaying the highlights a little bit here, but. I think Honey Badger had an interception. They were just rolling from the jump. I mean, I don't know.
It
It's
and it looked like Bell and Edwards-Helaire kind of. I know Edwards-Helaire out-touched Bell, but it was only like 9-6. Like neither of them was really heavily involved because
they never had the ball, dude. That's why I'm gonna lose in fantasy because Mahomes like didn't do anything for me because their defense and special teams were like Ty Pringle had that 108-yard return. Like like the game, like if you just turn a red zone, it's like, oh, look at the Chiefs special teams and defense again. It's like that's great, good job, guys. Like
this does no one any good.
Exactly, yeah, no one's playing them.
No.
Is there any chance, though? It's like a little segue into the next game. Is there any segue or any segue? Is there any chance? Hey, Kieran. There you go. EK on that one. But is there any chance the Chargers can get back into this thing with old Justin Herbert's rocket of an arm?
You know, I don't know if they can win the division, but I think with Herbert leading the way, you know, not many teams have tape on him still, and I think that's going to be a big part to their success. I think they could probably challenge for a wild card position. I don't know if they could catch the Chiefs. That's great. Starting, they're 2-4. The Chiefs are what? They're 5-1.
Yeah, it's the Chiefs. I mean, if anything, I think Oakland would be, or not Oakland. Geez, Las Vegas would be the only one that could catch them. I like what the chat was saying too. Do you remember the snow game we went to?
Oh, do I? Yeah, that was a blast. Yeah, going to a football game in the snow.
That was awesome.
It worked out perfectly too because on the drive home, we didn't like. It was basically at that point, it was warm enough that it was all melted. So
it was all slush. Yeah, and it was like and I felt like it picked up. Like it didn't even like snow a ton. We were like tailgating. It was just kind of like icy outside, and then when we walked in, it was like just picked up.
I think it was like the first half is when it was all came down. And then like towards the end of the third quarter, it got like really humid and everything just kind of.
That was cool. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really cool. I'm glad that we were able to go to a game like that. You know?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
And more to come too.
Well, I mean, like a snow game. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. We'll have to go up to one up the old church up there.
Yeah.
The church
the
football.
Frozen tundra Atlanta.
Yeah. But all right. Well, speaking of cold weather teams, right? All right. The Bills. All right. They're on the road. Actually, they played the Jets.
Yeah. This was like. I have to put my foot in my mouth not to cut you off because
no, please. I have nothing to say about this game, so please take it.
I can give you something because my lock of the week was the Bills -12 because I thought I'm thinking to myself, well, the Bills they lost 2 games in a row. They're against the lowly Jets who they're just garbage. I'm thinking that they're going to come in and win by like 20, and then to further that point, when I reshared it on my Twitter, I said. Don't let the picture fool you. I did not take the Jets, you know, and of course the Jets didn't win, but they covered. So
that was, and the funny thing is, it was. I heard people say, "Oh, well, maybe the Jets aren't as bad as we think." No, they sucked. That was literally the Bills. I swear the Bills went out the night before.
Yeah, the Bills.
They looked so hungover in that first half. Josh Allen's just like dropping the ball like he's a kid in the backyard. It was that was the epitome of hey, let's take them lightly.
Yeah. Yeah, they were out at some like Manhattan or Hoboken rooftop bar.
Yeah. Going to what was it 6th or 5th Avenue, the bar in Midtown, little Skyview.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's
a fun place. It's expensive, but
yeah.
Hey, well, that's why I went there once, twice. All right, but anyway, all right, let's do this. Speaking of like just the East and New York, and all right, let's talk about the NFCs. Let's get
this garbage out of the way.
Are you all right? I felt so bad for it. I actually didn't want to say too much because I was like, there's not anything I want to say. Like, there's like, what am I going to say? Start talking about the things you guys could have done better? Like, no. Like, do you want me to really tell you it's all going to be okay? Not really. I don't want to hear that because it's just like, dude, give me more than that. Like, you don't want just that. All right. I think the division you can pretty much. I wouldn't say kiss it goodbye, but it's more not to be that guy. I think it's more about what you guys aren't doing than what's out in front of you to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to come in with a very hot take, and I guess let me start this off, right? So, and we'll talk more about Ron Rivera beating the hell out of cancer, which is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll save that for later on in the show. But so Washington pummels Dallas yesterday. What was the final? 25-3? 25-3?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it was just like kind of like that sound like Ron Rivera drumming back in the drumming. I can't even talk. Drumming back in the day, back in Carolina. And I don't know. I feel like this team, I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win the NFC East. I really do. And I was kind of thinking that yesterday before the game started, they won the game. But right? It's like, cool, Kieran, great topic of conversation. But I don't know. What, like, you live in this neighborhood. Nate, like, tell me what's going on in the houses with the kids and the neighbors and everything going on right now.
Yeah. No, I think you're onto something for sure. I think Washington's front seven has a strong pass rush. You know, they're very solid from that front. I mean, they held Elliott to only 45 rushing yards. You know, granted, the running game was not necessarily in the cards for the Cowboys, but still only 45 rushing yards. Antonio Gibson, I had a little coming out party of himself. He had over 128 rushing yards.
Interested in him for fantasy?
Yeah, maybe he came back. And a touchdown. Kyle Allen didn't make any stupid mistakes. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost just under 200 yards passing. And kind of like what you just hit on, the culture and the organizational morale boosting that
it's that gritty type of win.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, and I think you're right. I could absolutely see the Washington football team winning the division. Cowboys, they're done. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott fumbles like 2 or 3 times a game anymore. Drops passes too. He's done.
That's the thing. I feel like the other 3 teams I see in that division have been doing too many things wrong in their own ways, right? Dallas can't stop anyone. They don't have a quarterback, especially now with Dalton being out. And then for how long, I don't know, maybe like a week or 2 probably with this concussion. And then, but I love Mark McCarthy. Just doesn't seem like it's working down there. I could be wrong.
It's just so weird because they have so much talent. Remember in the offseason, everyone's saying, including myself, I believe, about how they won.
I was terrified of him. I thought they might get the NFC Championship game with him.
Yeah, we're all thinking, CeeDee Lamb, oh my God, him, Gallup, Cooper, oh no.
And what's vexing is, I'll add on to that point, it's because all the flashes that we've thought that would just continuously hit, like Gallup didn't have any points yesterday in fantasy. Catches, and
CeeDee Lamb, I don't think he had a catch. I think he had a rush for 5 yards. That was it.
That's horrible. Oh, I saw that play too. Then I scored it right out of bounds.
Yep.
It was like a swing pass kind of on the side. Yeah.
Yep.
God, that's bad. But let's jump into 2 good teams, because I actually feel like, talk about, like, for as much hype as the NFC East gets, I feel like the Titans are really not getting as much hype. Granted, they lost yesterday, but that was a good game, 27-24. I always joke around. Does it feel like the Titans are literally always at home? Like, literally, they play at home every single week, I swear. Good, there you go, Kieran. Way to load those highlights.
It really does.
All right, let me we're not going to use those highlights. We're just going to talk through this game. It was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was one of those games where I felt like it could be a playoff dress rehearsal. It definitely could be.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. I mean, 2 undefeated teams in at a cold outdoor game that it definitely had a playoff vibe to it. You know, the Steelers really should have won by a lot more than they did. I mean, they were up 27-7.
I was going to say, they were out in front in that game.
Yeah.
I feel like, not to cut you off, I feel like the litmus test for them is next week, right, when they play at Baltimore? Or is that in Pittsburgh? It might be. I think it's in.
I think it. Yeah.
I can check.
It is. It's in Baltimore.
It's in Baltimore. How about that? And that's not a primetime game?
No, I what they really should do is they
might flex that out.
They should either flex out our Monday night game or the Cowboys-Eagles Sunday night.
Well, they flexed out the Bucks and Raiders were supposed to be Sunday night last week. Yeah, they flexed the Seahawks and Cardinals to it. So I think they probably will do that.
Yeah.
All right, but I'll tell you. Let's real quick. Let's keep it rolling with another team. The other 2 teams in the AFC North, right? The Browns and the Bengals.
Yeah.
Another one of those games, like, was that the game of the year, guys? It was like same kind of score. It was close. Like, it was a slinging match. Right? Browns go down. I mean, Grant, I actually am being a little bit of a jerk, joking around like that. It actually was a good game. It was
a little bit of a slugfest, back and forth.
Which I feel like we're not accustomed to seeing with those 2 teams. You know what I mean? That's a game usually I look back, I'm like, what was the final? 21-16? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's definitely we're definitely not used to it, but I'm 100% on the Joe Burrow hype train. Over 400 yards passing, 3 TDs.
Me too. You know. I was wrong about that. My takes were ice cold this year.
No, man, we've all hit and missed
all the time. Vikings and Saints regressing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of on the table.
That's a big one. I was extremely high on the Colts, and they're kind of like they're good.
They're good. They just had a bye week, so it's like hard to remember they exist right now. Yeah. But I'll tell you, let's to that point. Let's look at the another AFC team, right? Let's pull this up. What is up with the Patriots?
I don't know, but the body
2-4.
Yeah, the body
lost at sea.
Yeah, and here's another take that I hate, man, is when they talk about without Brady, this is the first time they've been 2-4, without Brady. Well, what do you expect? Like,
by the way, I'm also an idiot. How the hell? And I'm glad Cole threw it in the chat for us. What's up, Cole? Thank God he mentioned it because, honest to God, I forgot, dude, OBJ. But to that point, and I'm really not trying to be like, oh, forgot about OBJ, but he tore his ACL. But that's not like 3 years ago. OBJ tore his ACL. That's just like, oh, that's right. What the Browns? What?
Yeah,
like. Yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at with. I think it's because honestly, I think it's because the AFC has so many powerhouse teams, right? The Chiefs, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Bills, a little bit, maybe the Colts. Like they're all in front of the Browns, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like hardcore. Even the Dolphins, I like more than them.
Yeah, the Browns are 5-2. I just think they're so hot and cold and streaky. Yeah. What's up, man? Yeah, it's Yeah, that's kind of why we lose that injury in the crowds. No offense to OBJ. It's just we don't. I can't take the Browns seriously yet.
He's only 28 though. That's the other thing I kind of forget about though.
What's that?
He's only 28.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, but let's jump back real quick. So 49ers and Patriots. So this NFC West, woo, like goodness gracious.
Yeah. I mean, the 49ers I think are the worst team, right? And they're 4-3. Technically the worst team.
Yeah, I need the Rams to win tonight and beat the Bears.
Depending on
let's get to that. You want to just jump into that one? Sort of, not that, but let's jump into the other side. But the bias side of it. Okay, so you didn't watch any of our game, right?
No.
Did you listen?
I saw the highlights. Highlights.
Did you listen to them?
No.
All right. So it's funny. There's like degrees of bad broadcasting. The worst is like passes it to the man, boom goes the dynamite video bad, right? So it's like you rarely ever see that. That's like was it Sergio Dip or Sergio Flip with like Senor Vance Joseph's having the time of his life, like that, like awkward. Everyone was like tweeting like, who like is this a college kid that's like never been on TV? But I felt bad for him. Like you could tell he was just like nervous as hell. And I mean, look, it was like a horrible. It was just. I'm not sure if that guy. It actually shows like when people are like professionals at this, and then when they're not. This is like whatever the gate is right before that, where it's like, yeah, like what is he saying? Like that whole thing. Yeah. Jonathan Vilma. Yeah, he was on the mic for the Packers Texans game. Before I jump, has he called any of your games?
I think he called 2 weeks ago.
Does he like you guys?
He didn't seem to hate us, but
you'll know. You'll know, and it's funny because I literally, dude, bro, I swear, I literally typed in VILM on Twitter, and it literally started it just auto went to Vilma Packers, and I was just like, so you can see just some. This is just a row of four tweets just like laid up against each other, just like. Dude, he was actively like rooting for the Texans. It was like he had money on it. It was like, yo, this is a Texans broadcast, and like we have money on it, so it's okay to cheer for the other team. There was a point they got to stop. He's like, all right, Houston, I see you. Let's go. Like, I'm like, what the hell is this? So biased. Dude, it was one of the most, it was so bad that I actually am smiling. This is me just like trying to be like on the show. I actually thought it was hilarious. It's like, Grant, they were losing. I would have not found the humor in it at all, but I don't ever want to have him call it like. And the funny thing is, dude, you'll know this. He like started talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember playing Aaron Rodgers." And there was this one time I remember talking some trash, and then like that's like, and then like he starts doing and then he did his thing. And I'm thinking like, "Oh, so you're a child, and like he carved you up, and now you hate him." Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of carving up, I mean, I'm not going to go into a whole like cheerleaders and pom poms and go nuts and say, "Oh my god." I mean, obviously Devontae Adams exploded. 13 catches, 192 yards. I mean, good Lord, 2 touchdowns. Chad was right when he said one time death taxes and Devontae Adams touchdowns are the only guarantees in life. But I'm not going to like dive. Like I said, I'm not going to dive. It's a good win. It's a big win for them, in my opinion, because you can easily just go back on the road and lose another weird game where it's just like, what's this funk going on with the Packers, right? They didn't. They went down there. They made us not make this an important game. It's one of those, in a weird way, not to say like this is a fan, like, because it's kind of like it sucks, but it's almost like if you lose that. It's either you lose it or you don't kind of there's no real gains from a game like that. You just got to beat them up, and that the game is just quietly doing your business. And I thought it was a good one for them.
Yeah, they just went down there, handled their business like they're supposed to, made nothing of it.
I love it.
I like Cole's question in the chat.
Yeah, let's get into a Joe Buck conversation here. You like Joe Buck?
And I think Cole is. I think he's spot on. I think he's great with baseball. I think with football, I don't think he's horrible, but I think Troy Aikman makes him look better than he is with football.
That's an interesting take. I don't know. I like Troy Aikman a lot, so I can't really speak to like if you pair like. It's almost like if you pair Collinsworth with him. It almost is like the opposite effect of like I think Al Michaels is better than people think, especially I know he's getting older, but like at the same point, it's like he's got a rooster and Chris Collinsworth over there just saying that might be the greatest mic I've ever seen in my entire life, Al. And he's like, it's the same microphone I use every week, Chris. Like, it's literally it drives me nuts. But nevertheless, I love everyone knows I'm just a cheerleader for Joe Buck. I love Joe Buck.
Yeah, you met him, didn't you? Or he said hi to you or something?
Yeah, I saw him once. I was just like, hi, Joe. And he was just like, hi. It was that Packers game, and it was literally right after I got off the field for the first time I was there, and I was just on like such a high, like just that, like I literally had like the biggest smiles even before the game, just like, and I just remember seeing him just walking down the ramp, and it was just like, Liz, me and him, like just, and because you know how it kind of is in that stadium where it's like kind of close, like you're just kind of wandering around, you don't really know where you're going, and it was just funny. I was like, "Oh, hey, Joe," and he was just like, "Oh, hey," like,
that's so funny.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like he said, like he wasn't like, "Oh, hey," like he was just like, "Oh, hey," like he was nice. I was just kind of like, "Hey," like,
that's good.
I thought it was cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, let's to that point. That game's not as important as the game tonight. That cue the Monday Night Football music up here in a second. I think that's to me. Going to be a good measuring stick for both teams, for the Bears and the Rams. Now, the interesting thing is whoever loses that game, I'm going to sit there and be like, are you any good? Right. But at the same point, that's where I'm not sure. But I think this will be an interesting test for the Bears. And that's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing. Like the Packers, I'm more interested with. They just need to win that division, have like stuff run through Lambeau in the postseason. They'll be good to go. They don't have that. Then that causes a problem for them. The reason they get that is that the Bears remain hot and be that team where it's like they just didn't lose games and they just kept stacking wins and stacking wins. What the Packers really are not interested in is this thing getting to a point where it's like week 12 where you're like, they got to win it. They lose this game. They're a game behind them in the division and they just lost the first one at home. So you're really behind the eight ball, right? Like you don't want that.
No.
If you're a Packers fan, if you're a Bears fan, you love. Like, actually, I'll even add into that. If you're a Bears fan, I think you take that. You're basically saying we'll take a one shot against you, kind of a one, right? Like they would. It's almost like golf. Like, do you want to have more holes and be like a Tiger Woods where you have more room to gain, or like and move around, or not?
Yeah, for sure. I think the Bears are kind of riding on some magic high right now, and I think eventually it's gonna crumble for them. I really do. I don't think they're that great, and the Rams are another team that I was surprised to see do so well to start the season. But yeah, I mean, I think tonight is actually going to be pretty good because I feel like both defenses are strong and both offenses are run by quarterbacks who are proven to either be really good or really bad in the game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting game, to be honest.
It's like a science experiment. It's like dumping Mentos in a Diet Pepsi this game or a Diet Coke or whatever which one it was.
Yeah, it really is.
At the end of the day, it's not like the science experiment is going to do anything great for the world. But at the same point, it's going to be it's exciting to watch.
Yeah. I had a hard time making my picks for tonight's game, but we got them out there. So
I think the Rams are going to roll them. I do. I actually do.
Yeah, I took Bears plus.
They're going to win like 23-6, and it's just going to be like something like that. That's
for my fantasy sake, I hope that you're wrong, but yeah.
All right, but let me ask you this. So let's roll into the college ranks here as we kind of get close to the end of the show. But I want to talk about the Penn State ending for a second. Do we start with the kneel down thing? Because I almost want to be like, this is what happens, right? When you didn't take the kneel down, it's 28-20. So, right, it's 21-20. Penn State scores with, what was it, a minute 47 to go, and Indiana had one timeout. So if they take the kneel down instead of running it in the end zone, and mind you, if you go back to the highlight, I can show it in a second after this one's rolling, but you can see Indiana wasn't even playing the ball. Like, they were literally just letting them score. Like, you almost have to look around and be like, no one's trying to tackle me at all. I'll go get down. Yeah. Okay, they don't. Then Indiana scores. I think it was like a third and goal or something. Or maybe that was the overtime touchdown. Oh yeah, that's right. They sneaked it in. Okay, so they sneak it in. Honestly, I wish I had a clip in this package of the 2-point conversion because I thought they actually had them wrapped up. But right, they go for it or they get it on the third. I can't talk. They get the touchdown on 3rd and goal, and then they go for it on 4th down. I mean, or in the then they go. I want to talk about this, and now okay, right here's a 2-point conversion. I feel like I'm like the Boom Goes the Dynamite guy now. Like, oh, Jesus. All right, in real time, I'm watching this. I'm like, it's one of those like he didn't get in, but then when you see the pylon kind of explode like a firecracker, and the way he extended with the angle he was extending it, I wasn't shocked that the ref put the arms up type of thing. Mm-hmm. This to me is just a bunch of like kind of just like if you're a Penn State fan, it breaks your heart, and I get it, and I think most would admit though that right. That's not the play that costs, right? There's a lot of things up to that point, but nevertheless, like just for the sake of performing an autopsy on that actual play, the call, etc. I'm going to show you another angle. Here's my general issue with this, just in like the world of sports, right? You're going to see here, it's so hard. He's got to be short the way that angle looks, but there's no definitive angle. Mm-hmm. Every angle you see of this, where you look like. Okay, or he looks like, I should say, he did not get in. There's just a shadow of a doubt. So then you look at the next angle, and every angle, there's just like that. Well, like, what's that? Like, is he on the ground? Is he not? Like, there's no like clear color, like 3 colors, like ball, sky, like ground, like in the thing, like, right, like there's little types of things where he's short. It's like we all know he was short, but if they ruled him short, I don't think there's enough to overturn that. Because at the same point, you're saying, is the ball on the ground? It might be on the ground. If it's on the right, it's literally you're just flipping the argument around. It's tough. My where I'm going with this whole thing is not to like dwell on it. I think you look at tennis, you look at like how baseball should be with umpires, with like a robotic strike zone. Why is there not technology where you can know like exactly like where like you see in tennis where they're like, oh, was that serve inbounds or out of bounds? They do that little like robotic thing, and I'm like, that's so cool. I'm like, why can't we have that for football, where we know exactly like. It makes me sick knowing a game ended on a bunch of angles, fluky angles. You know what I mean? It's just like, what? Like, I hate sitting here where we all can probably nod our heads and be like, yeah, I don't think he got in. But at the same point, there's not enough. Like, it's one of those things where like, do you feel sick as a Penn State fan? Absolutely. But I'll back the refs too. I'm like, I don't know if there's an angle where I've been screaming like 120 billion%, right? Like, it's like because Cole's got a question in the chat, right? Like, did the tip cross play? Probably not. Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was one of those deals where when you look at every angle, it's so close to tell that, of course, they just got to revert back to what the call was on the field. And his first instinct was saying yes, probably because the pylon fell.
Yeah, it's that exciting. Exactly. Yeah, because it went, and sure, it went flying. That's kind of why I thought it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a brutal loss.
Yeah, but like you said, little dumb mistakes are what lead up to that happening.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, why can't we have camera angles that are also like on like an exact line, like either pylon cams, like which I feel like they have. And that's there. I guess there's too many bias, but like there's got to be that technology that can pick up on the ball crossing the plane, right? Like
some type of sensor or something. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's wrap this up because I know we got Monday Night Football kicking off, but it's Mojo Monday. Look at that. We got to do a little Mojo Monday. Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first? You can go first if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. So we kind of touched on this earlier, but Mojo Monday, huge shout out to Ron Rivera as he finished his cancer treatment today, which is phenomenal, and as we know, Rivera's a great guy and great coach, and we see, we're starting to take notice what he's doing down in DC. So we think that he's really rallying. I think he's really rallying the team there, and to do this all while undergoing cancer treatments, not missing any games, things like that. It's just awesome. Just great leadership right there.
Yeah, it's so cool. And the video playing now when he rings the bell. I mean, all those videos just are so inspiring and just phenomenal. And honestly, here I am, dude. I'm talking to you before the show about I'm burned out, I'm busy. I mean, Jesus. Like, and then you got this guy who's got such a great outlook on life, right? It's unbelievable. So, I mean, I'm so happy for him. And it's just really cool, that he's good and great. I mean, obviously, if you're in the NFC, so you won't really be pulling for Washington. But at the same point, it's like as a football, they got some good stories flowing through there between him and Alex Smith, right? I mean, there's some really cool stuff over there.
Yeah, as a football fan, I don't care what team you're for. It's good to see this, you know. So
it's funny too. I guess I'm looking at the chat. We really could have done a Mojo Monday for Rutgers. They won a football game. That was a good win for them, though. Wait, beat Michigan State with Greg Shadow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a big win.
That's a big win for him.
Yeah.
I'll go back into the. Well, I guess I'll stay in the football circuits for my Mojo Monday. I think this is one of the coolest stories. So most people might not know who Malik Taylor is. I might not be a household name. He was the guy, but Zach, I know you know Jake Kumro from the Packers days. He's got to beat him out for that last wide receiver job, and he's been great. He's been so awesome to watch and step on. And I mean, he's been and just all you got to see is the way Rodgers and that team rallies around him play. I mean, it's one of those just really feel good stories, and from where he came from and where he is now in his career and. Just a really rootable guy. So I think it's just so cool when you hear these types of stories, right? And especially when you got a guy like Rodgers that highlights their work ethic and how hard they right. And I remember reading about him during camp. Everyone saying, "Oh, he's a long shot. He's a long shot." But then every time you'd see the tweets, like, this Malik Taylor guy's playing really well today in camp. And it's like, I mean, those guys are just like, "Oh, I want to see him. You want to see him do well." And I just thought it was really cool to see him, get that touchdown, second one. I just thought it was phenomenal stuff.
No, that's great. It's a great story, like you just said, and it's always good to see players like that who work their tail off to get to where they want to be and with their dreams and goals.
Yeah,
and it pays off like that. That's phenomenal.
Absolutely. All right, well, I'll tell you that's a good little segue into our check out our show, our store, the store for our show. I'm really losing it. I just want to watch the Bears lose. All right, here we go. So if you go on old Sidetrack website and check out the Sidetrack store tab, you can check out all sorts of groovy and cool stuff, especially with the holidays coming up here. It's always kind of a fun thing. And feel free to send in your pictures. We'll post them up. If you guys are rocking your Sidetrack gear, we'd love to see it. And while we're at it, make sure you check us out on social media, Spotify and iTunes, also for all the audio episodes. But for social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit @_GetSidetracked. At twitch.tv, if you're listening to the audio episodes, you can always check out the video ones at twitch.tv/get_sidetracked and visit our website at www.get-sidetrack.com. And by the way, if you're on Twitch, look at this. I'm going backwards like that. I'll reverse the order. Follow us to the heart to the left. So I'm trying to keep everyone on their toes today. And you can also subscribe to us. It's free if you have Amazon Prime. And if not, it's only a Coors Light at 1 o'clock at the bar, as Zach always said. And I love that saying. Because it puts things in, if you don't want to get that Hoagie Festival, it's $4.99. Yeah, we can do this for one time. Yeah, for a month, not for a meal. So that's pretty good. This is fun. And this got my work blues out of the way. Like, this is good stuff. I like this.
Love it. Yeah, we got through the month. We got through Monday, so it's time to.
And we want to thank everyone for sticking through us with those audio issues tonight. I was about to say, I promise it won't happen again. At this point, dude, what is this 3 for 4? I'm shaky.
Hey, it's technology, man. It's not you.
It's like a starter sit now situation for Kieran producing. It's like, well, he struggled with the audio 2 of the 3 times. He had a video issue the other time, all unrelated, but at the same time, he's having a hard time keeping the show upright. Will he be able to produce more to come? Oh yeah.
Take the yes on that one, folks.
I'll try. No, dude, it's easy to produce when we got the chemistry and awesome guests that we have on the show all the time. It's always great stuff. But yeah. All right, so let's kick off a little Monday Night Football. We want to thank everyone for watching. We'll see everyone in the living room again tomorrow, right here at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So enjoy Monday Night Football, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Cheers, everyone.